Hello, this is Gene Powell, the Public Information Officer for the Odessa District of TxDOT. Thank you for joining us today as we discuss the Rural Transportation Improvement Plan for 2023 through 2026. Today, we will go over the counties in the Odessa District and all the roads under the district's care. We will also review the basics of what is the rural tip and why it is important for you to be here with us today. We will explain how the projects included in the program are selected and classified in order to make the most of the program. Once you understand all of this, you will have the opportunity to review all the projects the Odessa District has included in the 23 through 26 program, both the big projects and the small supporting projects. We will also go over funding, answering questions on where does the money come from to pay for these projects, and how does the money get distributed. Finally, we will outline all the options you have to comment on these projects and their priority. We appreciate you joining us today, and we want to encourage you to be safe on our roads. We want to end the streak. End the streak refers to the last time there was a fatal-free day on Texas roads. November 7th, 2000 was the last time there was not a death on a Texas roadway. And we want to repeat that date. We want to end the streak in Texas and not have any more fatalities on our roads. Please don't drive distracted. Please don't drink and drive. Please wear your seatbelt. Every seat, every driver, every time. This is a map of the Odessa District boundaries. As you can see, we stretch from Andrews County and Martin County in the north to Terrell County in the south. The Odessa District covers Andrews, Crane, Ector, Loving, Martin, Midland, Pecos, Reeves, Terrell, Upton, Ward, and Winkler counties. The Rural Transportation Improvement Program is a list of local projects to be funded in a TxDOT district over the next 4 years. This means that all the projects included in the list are expected to be underway within 4 years following the rural tip approval. These are the projects you can expect to go to contract in the near future. The rural tip is multimodal, which means that it can include projects relating to highways, bicycles, pedestrians, transit services, and freight projects, as well as the preliminary studies used to define those projects. The rural tip is meant to show regional agreement on the need and priority of a transportation project. That way, all parties involved can be sure they are making the best investment for the community. The rural tip is also expected to be consistent with the projects and objectives included in the Regional Long-Term Transportation Plan. This ensures all agencies are working toward the same goal. The rural tip is part of the statewide Transportation Improvement Program, also known as the STIP, and since program rules are established by federal law, no project can receive federal funding unless it is listed in the rural tip. It is important for you to participate because funding secured by this process is intended to address your community's most immediate needs. By providing comments on the priority of the projects included, you are helping us identify regional priorities. By reviewing the entire program in a single virtual meeting, you are 1, having a regional impact, 2, helping us be more effective with your money, and 3, ensuring that we're investing where we should. TxDOT, through the district offices, is responsible for selecting projects relating to the state transportation system and other national roadways. This includes interstates, state and U.S. highways, and most importantly, this can also include farm-to-market and ranch-to-market roads we use every day. The projects you will review today should respond to local needs. It is our responsibility to provide you with the opportunity to provide input on which projects should be advanced. Once projects have been defined, they are evaluated according to their scale and classified according to the funding they require, as well as their potential impact in the region. Large projects are categorized as regionally significant projects, and they are included as standalone items. For example, a bridge over a river. To simplify budgeting and planning, smaller projects are often lumped together into 11 separate subcategories, referred to as grouped projects. Grouped projects include things like landscaping, safety lights, or new bicycle and pedestrian facilities. This grouping practice facilitates the federal funding of smaller projects, for instance, pavement repair of an FM road. This map shows all the rural projects included in fiscal year 2022. These projects go under bid during the fiscal year 2022, which stretches from September 1st, 2021 through August 31st of 2022. This table describes each of the projects you saw on the previous map. The table includes things like the CSJ, which is the way TxDOT identifies different projects, the name of the road involved, the name of the county, the distance of the project, what the limits of the project are, where it goes from and where it ends, and the type of work that will be done. Anytime during this presentation, you can stop the presentation to review a map or review a table. As we move forward, you can see these projects, which are expected to be let in fiscal year 2023. They include things like passing lanes on Highway 302, rehab of I-20 in the far western part of the district, rehab of Highway 18, and other important regional projects. This is a table that explains the map that you saw on the previous slide. Again, you may stop at any time to review the details of these tables and maps at your convenience. Next, we move along to the projects that are expected to let in fiscal year 2024. You can see that the projects are scattered all across the district, much like the other years, and we have a lot of rehab projects, but we also have some safety projects as well. This is a table that describes those 2024 projects. And again, this includes the type of work, the county, the name of the road, funding estimates, and letting times. This map includes the projects as in 2025. And the table for the 2025 years. As you saw on the map and see in this table, we have more I-20 projects and a 385 project coming up. These kind of projects are fairly typical, but as you've seen through all these maps and tables, work is truly scattered across the 12 districts. These are the projects that are expected to be let in fiscal year 2026, the final year that we're reviewing under the 23 through 26 rural tip. And the table explains again the locations, estimated construction costs, and limits from and to of each of the roads that we plan on working on. All of these tables and all of these projects are what we have proposed to do through these years. The rural tip functions as our budget list for the district. Frequently, we identify more improvements than we have money to implement. This means prioritizing projects. The rural tip has to be realistic about the amount of money available to cover project cost. We've discussed the list in each of the years, but now we'll talk about where the money comes from. Funds come from three main sources. The federal government allocates funds through processes established by the Federal Highway and Transit Administration. TxDOT, like the federal government, also allocates a section of budget for these projects to the Unified Transportation Program, which has 12 funding categories. Third, local governments. Once a need has been identified and the amount of federal monies has been defined, the rural tip helps local governments assess the funding requirements to match those of the state and federal government. It helps them plan for their capacity to meet these projects and their fiscal responsibilities, which often includes right-of-way costs and utility adjustments. We also have been able to get some funding from private sources. Sometimes it's a development corporation or a local government, as we mentioned before, and private sources like private businesses. Where we are in the TIP process. After you've gone through and reviewed each of the years of the proposed rural tip, and you've commented on those projects, the question comes, what's next? This timeline illustrates the rural tip process and where we are right now. Once your comments have been collected and considered, the district will submit a rural tip for approval and integration into the statewide document. The statewide transportation improvement program is built from the rural tips of all 25 districts, as well as transportation programs from all the MPOs. In the 12-county Odessa District, the Permian Basin MPO covers Odessa, Midland, and a small part of Martin County. The timeline shows where the rural tip process fits into this larger effort. Once the tip is approved by the federal government, approved projects are funded and become one step closer to being constructed. We appreciate your visit today to this presentation, and we strongly encourage you to provide comments. Once you're familiar with the rural tip, we truly want to hear from you so we can make better decisions. Please email your comments to gabriel.ramirez@txdot.gov. That's gabriel.ramirez@txdot.gov. Emailed comments must be received no later than May 12th, 2022. You may also download and fill out a comment card and mail it back to us at the address on the screen. Mailed comments must be postmarked by May 12th, 2022. If after today you would like to have more information or have other questions, please feel free to contact Gabriel Ramirez at the provided email address. Thank you again for visiting with us today. We hope we have answered many of your questions and explained the rural tip process in an effective manner, and we look forward to hearing from you. Please stay safe, and thank you again for joining us.